And of course, to further discuss this, I'm being joined by a political analyst, Godson Azu. Thank you so much for your time, Godson.
Thank you very much. It's my great pleasure joining you for this evening. And I'm very, very excited, and I do really appreciate what you're doing over there in Nigeria and Lagos. It's my great pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Now, the alleged budgetary revelation by Funsho Doherty is, you would say, an eye popper, right? Now, what does this say about Lagos state government, particularly in terms of financial prudence and accountability?
Well, I think this goes on to show that in the modern day politics and democracy, it's important for governance to be open, to be transparent, and to be accountable. I'm very happy to see that irrespective of what has been going on in Nigeria and the way governance has been taken for granted for so many years by so many state governors and some of the government officials, it's important for us to know that whatever that the Lagos state government has presented as a form of accountability to Lagosians shows that they are not about hiding anything from anyone. They're not about trying to evade process of accountability to the people and the citizens of Lagos State. Obviously, there may be questionable items in those issues that were raised by Mr. Doherty, but then one thing is very clear here. I am one of those who advocate for a very strong, responsive opposition in politics. Is one of the greatest political philosophers of our great times. Plato says that political life is life in the polite, and what that means is that everyone in the society is part of the political activities in terms of how the people survive or how the society evolved over years and time. And so a constructive criticism is highly welcome. Okay. But then in every aspect of it, it must be followed with a responsive opinion that helps to shape the society it takes to tango.
Well, talking about items on that particular list, I would like the breakdown to, of course, come on the screen right now. We've seen items like perfumes, supply of distribution of chickens going to a tune of over 18 million naira, and also bulletproof vehicles, over 400 million naira. Now, if you put that side by side, some real developmental projects, right, you see that these numbers are pretty small, right? You can see that on your screen right there, Lexus LX 600 bulletproof, over 400 million naira being spent on that just for the office of the chief of staff. Now, you talk about issues like infrastructure, education, and all of that. Some of these issues that are prevalent and that has to do with development in Lagos. Looking at the money spent on some of these items, and we're also talking about the issue of cost of governance too. What does this reveal in terms of the priority of the government?
I think what this reveals is the fact that irrespective of the fact that governance is cost effective, especially in Nigeria, and
is it cost effective
everywhere? I mean, in the real world, because if you look at somewhere such as in the United Kingdom here, the way governance is managed in this country is quite different from the way it is managed in Nigeria. The issue of spending so much money on trying to maintain an office situation, an office place within a civic environment is quite different the way it is being managed back home in Nigeria. If you look at what the list all that has been put here, you say, for me, the most important thing is the fact that the list is made public. It's now left for the oppositions, it's left for the citizens of Lagos to probe this list and ask ask positive questions, ask questions that need to be answered. Some of these things are not maybe in real time, in the normal sense of it, are not supposed to be actually taken care of by the government itself, such as the issue of raising money for chickens to be shared among staff or so on and so forth, depending on the occasion that is meant for. But in my opinion, I believe the essence of governance in terms of the political concept of it is about managing the affairs of the people. And the people is not just the ordinary persons on the streets of the society, but entire people, entire citizenaries of that society, encompassing both those that are in public functions or public office, those that are in private engagements, are all part of the people that needs to get the benefit of governance. And prudence in governance means that there's things that you don't need to spend money on or the public funds on if it does not make millions to those who are actually in need of it. And so perfume in the office, I don't know if that perfume is provided for the whole entire building. Is it provided for just one single office? Was it meant to serve the entire complex of the governor's?
To procure it is about 7 million naira, above 7 million, just to procure office fragrance.
Yeah. I mean, well, the figures we're hearing, there's no actual explanation of the quantity, the quality, and the essence of such items being used within the premises in which they were delivered to be used for. But one thing I want to make clear here is, in as much as I know, the governor of Lagos State is in a parallel measure in terms of deliverability of his leadership, of his governance. He is doing as much as he can to ensure that Lagos State becomes a center point for other states to actually look at in terms of what they need to do to leverage on deliverability in terms of governance.
Okay.
It may sound so much like one is not trying to be how do I put it? I'm not trying to be a bit sarcastic about the whole thing, but I think the expenditures that were being challenged by the ADC opposition leader is relevant, but at the same time, it has to be made clear the essence by which he's challenging those particular figures and why he wants those figures to be made clear to the citizens of Lagos State, and what are his own position in terms of bringing changing factors to those issues.
All right, Godson, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's my pleasure.